Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Firdaus Limi bin Suzarwadi, and today we are going to present about proposal plan for preservation program of digital archive in National Cancer Institute. For the introduction, according to National Archive website, the term of preservation refer to the act that increase the lifespan of archival record. Preservation actions are intended to keep documents from deteriorating physically or chemically and to avoid the loss of valuable content, providing a stable environment for record of all media types, applying safe handling and storage procedure, and duplicating unstable terms are all examples of the activity.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fikri Hakimi bin Mat Yunus, and I am going to continue about the company. And for information, the National Cancer Institute is a cancer medical institution specially built to provide specialized facilities in treatment and medicine for cancer patients. And the mission of National Cancer Institute is to provide the best cancer treatment services for cancer patients and to be a center for learning and training of expertise in cancer management and also treatment for various categories of health personnel, including specialists, medical officers, associate scientists, and paramedics. And they also to be the center in cancer research in Malaysia, covering the aspect of treatment and care of cancer patients in collaboration with other agencies from and within outside the country. Okay, next is the services that was provided at the National Cancer Institute. One of them is radiotherapy and oncology, nuclear medicine, oncology surgery, palliative care, specialist clinic services, inpatient services, daycare services, and also clinical support services.
Now I will present about the definition of preservation in digital archive. In digital archive, digital preservation incorporates policies, strategies, and activities to preserve access to reformatted and newly created digital content, regardless of device failure and technological change. The purpose of digital preservation is to ensure the authenticated content is rendered accurately across time and maintain the accessibility. Now I will explain about the objective of preservation in digital archive. The first one is to ensure efficient preservation of digital record and document. The second one is to ensure that all records and document can secure safely and easy to access. The next one is to ensure the adequate, descriptive, administrative and structured metadata to ensure future access. And the last one is cost efficiencies, service consistency and quality assurance at a global level.
Okay, the problem statement that we figure out is preservations are the activities that extend the usable life of archival records in order to ensure the records are well preserved. Preservation activities are intended to reduce physical and chemical deterioration of records while also preventing information loss. So, in this content, physical preservation activities are not more preferable as it will easily impact or affect the deterioration of records or archival material in terms of surrounding itself, lack of expertise, lack of preservation equipment, and many more. So now we move to the organizational chart. Okay, so now we move to the methods of preservation in digital archive. As we all know, there are many methods of preservation in digital archive that we can implement. The methods are including migration, emulation, technology preservation, refreshing, and data ecology. So what are them? Migrations is the migrates of digital information defined as the periodic transfer of digital materials from one hardware and software configuration to another. Data migration also referring as from a generation of computer technology to a next or future generations. The second one is the emulation. According to National Archive of United Kingdom, Emulation is a technique for dealing with technological obsolescence in hardware and software by developing techniques for initiating obsolete systems on future generations of computer. In addition, the main emulation purpose is to preserve the appearance of the digital object as well as its functionality. By that, this strategy or method can replicate the technical context of the resource of original object or a refreshed copy of the original object that can be used in future. The third one is the technology preservation. Meanwhile, technology preservation focuses on preserving the technical and environment that runs the systems, such as software, media drive, and others, as well as the record structure. For example, this method also can be implemented in the museums of outdated equipment, which can be maintained in order to copy any old configuration of hardware and software. This method also entails preserving a unique application programs, operating system software, and hardware platform. The fourth one is refreshing. In accordance with Cornell University Library 2007, refreshing defines copying content from one storage medium to another, and it only addresses media obsolescence and is not a full-service preservation strategy. This refers to the transfer of digital content from an outmoded physical medium to a new medium. The goal of this technique is to deal with the technological changes, as the technological changes is always changes during this rapid development, and it's very fast, that may render digital media storage obsolete. The fifth one is the data archaeology. Data archaeology defined as the methods or procedures to prevent the content from media damage or from outdated or hardware damage, as well as the software environment. In this content, Cornell University Library noted that digital archaeology is data archaeology is related to the preservation of the data when the tool used to manage electronic records may become obsolete. By that, the data will be preserved in an archive that will include all information about the records.
Okay, next we move to the project timeline for our preservation program. The first phase is the initial phase, which include the planning process, cost calculation, and team configuration before the implementation phase. After the initial phase, we move to the implementation phase, which consists of the migration, emulation, technology preservation, refreshing, and data archaeology, which will be used on our preservation program. Okay, this is the cost for our preservation of digital archive. It consists of a few equipments that was essential for our preservation program, including the staff training. And the total for our project is 8,920 ringgit only.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuralina binti Muhammad Astri, and today I want to present about advantages of preservation of digital archive in organization. The preservation of digital archive can bring a lot of advantages to the National Cancer Institute to have fully navigational records in their organization. Digital preservation can be defined as the active management and maintenance of digital objects. For example, the files or group of files that contain information in digital form, so they can be accessed and used by future users. Sources from the United Nations Archive. It entails the planning, allocation of resources, and implementation of preservation methods and technologies, as well as the integration of policies, strategies, and activities to ensure access to reformat and bond digital information. Despite the obstacle of media failure and technological change, the purpose of digital preservation is to ensure the validity, accessibility, and the utility of authorized content across time. There are several advantages of the preservation of digital archive at the National Cancer Institute. The advantages of the preservation of digital archive to the National Cancer Institute is it can monitor all of the digital objects of the National Cancer Institute, such as records that contain information in digital form. It entails the planning, allocation of resources, and implementation of preservation methods and technologies, as well as the integration of policies, strategies, and activities to ensure access. It can help in managing the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the organization's record to ensure efficient and accurate access. For example, all of the records in the National Cancer Institute can be easily monitored by doing a preservation of digital archive because the allocation of resources can be easily monitored. The second advantages of preservation of digital archive in an organization is to reduce the records volume and storage space and cost. This is because all of the records are digitalized and doesn't require space for their storage. With this, National Cancer Institute doesn't need to spend a lot of money to upgrade its storage space. It can help to reduce a lot of costs and save a lot of money to National Cancer Institute. The third advantages of preservation of digital archive in the organization is effective retrieval records. With the help of preservation in digital archive to the National Cancer Institute, it can provide multiple access to all the staff of the National Cancer Institute all the time without being interrupted. The same resources can be used at the same time by all the staff of the National Cancer Institute. An exact copy of the original can be made any number of times without any degradation in quality. These are called effective retrieval record because it brings a lot of benefits to National Cancer Institute. Other than that, all of the records of the digital archive were in digital form, so it needs to be preserved well to make sure the staff of the National Cancer Institute can effectively retrieve the records in a short amount of time. The next advantages of preservation of digital archive in organization is easy accessibility and availability. Preservation of digital archive can help all the staff in National Cancer Institute to easily access the record that they want without getting interrupted with anything. All the record in digital archive can be accessed and available all the time to the staff to access it because it was in a digital form. Other than that, a good preservation of digital archive can help to make some access to the same record at the same time. Preservation of digital archive can help to maintain the accessibility and the availability to all of the records all the time because digital archive needs to be maintained to ensure credibility and the accessibility of the records. When National Cancer Institute applies the preservation of digital archive in the organization, it can help to improve the accessibility and availability of the records. The 5 advantages of preservation of digital archive is information in any format that has been evaluated is archived and preserved. The main purpose of the preservation of digital archive is to make sure all information in any format have been evaluated in archive and preserved in the National Cancer Institute Digital Archive. When the information is being archived and preserved in the digital archive, it can make sure all the information is preserved and National Cancer Institute will not lose any of the records. The last advantages of preservation of digital archive is the data can be easy to reformat, edit, and print. The records that were preserved in digital archive can be easy to reformat and edit because it is in digital form. Records in digital form are easy to reformat, edit, and print rather than record in physical format. To print the records, an exact copy of the original can be made by any number of times without any degradation in quality. In conclusion, a lot of organizations have only a few digital records in their collection because some of the organizations refuse to use technology in their organization due to the cost of applying the technology, training employees, and other factors. The use of electronic office document and record is still held by the agency, and this is also the main driving force behind the archive issuing guidelines and regulating the creation, management, and storage of electronic records in the agency. To enhance the organization process, a lot of organizations need to consider to do the preservation of digital archive. There are a lot of benefits from doing a preservation of digital archive. The National Cancer Institute can benefit greatly from the preservation of digital archive by having a fully navigable records in their organization. Digital preservation is the active management and maintenance of digital objects, files, or group of files containing information in digital form, so that they can be accessed and used by future users according to sources from the United Nations Archive. Lastly, human life has become easier and more comfortable as a result of technological advancement. Digital record preservation also include the use of digital media as an advanced medium for preserving previous record. Some records may date back thousands of years, but thanks to advance in technology, they can still be used and viewed today.